Haven't. It's been a while. I got a little discouraged with the YouTube. My Disney stream, is that last Friday? So I guess it was only a week ago, but like a good portion of that just didn't show up. It stopped or something, and I didn't notice. And then my whole set from last Sunday at Charlotte's Web Pub was gone. And it literally, I started it, as I'm setting up. So that was about 30 minutes, and literally right when I put the guitar on, stepped up to the microphone, it ended. Which some of you may say good. But it was a fun set. I thought I did some, I opened up with the Mighty Quinn. And then I went right into, what the hell did I do? But it was, because I always kind of plan out the first couple tunes. It made sense. Come On Without, Come On. Usually there's some sort of something thematic or chordal connection. But anyway, then I ended the set. I did a nice, and it was starting to get windy, so I kind of unexpectedly, but I did a new one that I was doing. Yeah, fucking baked. But anyway, I went into I Am the Walrus, which went pretty well. There's one section I keep fucking up on, just doing like an E instead of a B. And then I went right into, surprisingly, which I didn't plan and just kind of came up with, Margaritaville. But I thought it went well. And then I had wrapped up the set. Then the wind blew in and I packed up and got home and it rained the rest of the night. So it was a good move. But then I come to find out it's not even on there. What did I do right before I Am the Walrus? Because it was nice. It was a nice little... I just can't recall. San Francisco at all. I can't even remember. El Paso, baby. Please tell that to the man. He keeps on saying everything twice to me, baby. Hey, man, what's happening? What is happening? Saturday night. And then I lost my tuner. My new tuner. Hope it's in the car or something. I don't believe it was, but we don't know. Because this is a good tuner, but the net that just flops around, it's lost the tension or whatever. Look at that, right in tune, right on, boom. Couldn't be any more in tune. That one's a little sharp, but we're just going to leave it. The D's right there, a teeny bit sharp. The G's way out. Close. The B and the G are consistently the most troublesome. Oh. Hello, oops, I mean hi. Yeah. Nice, man. What's happening, brother? doesn't last all morning. A cloudburst doesn't last all day. It seems my love has got up and left without a warning. It's not always going to be this great. All things must pass. All things must fade away. All things must pass. All things must pass while the world wages war. It gets harder to see who your friends really are. Oh, I won't let him down. Gotta do what I can. Oh, I won't let him drown. Oh no, he's a Far East man. It's a hand stretcher. That's a hand stretcher, especially on an acoustic. You know, your F sharp minor. Oh, let's turn that just a teeny bit more. The F sharp minor seventh. Then this one E. It's like an E major seventh. Which that was the missing chord. That's one of those chords you have to look up. You know, you have to go to like a how to play or. I was close. See, I had figured that song out. Far East Man, written by George Harrison with Ronnie Wood. Ronnie Wood pops up a lot of places. He's been a player. He's the eternal guest. You know, he's even in the last waltz at the jam at the end. You know, it's Ron Wood. And his solo albums, I can't say this enough, his solo albums are all great. He's got one, I forget the names of the albums because I just put them on, you know. But like his first one, I think was called "I've Got My Own Album to Do." I think Mick sings on that one of the tunes. That's around the time '74 when he was played a part. Him and David Bowie wrote "It's Only Rock and Roll" with Mick, and And then they did this tune, I Can Feel the Fire Burning. But there's a whole bunch of other great tunes. Great album. You know, he's got like Willie Weeks on bass and just all these ace players. Then he did, I think Gimme Some Neck was next. But then he even did one, he had one that came out in like 95, which is his last one. I think he had one since then, but it's a picture and he's a painter and it's a painting of him like riding on a horse with Genghis Khan sort of style. And that's just an outstanding album. I love that album. It's like the second half is kind of like loosely jammed, you know, it's all these kind of just like demo-y almost songs and they're just cool as hell. Then the last song is him and Bob Dylan doing a duet, acoustic duet, just with no words. I think it's called like No Kings or something. It's like Kings or King of Kings or No Kings or something. You fucking libtards. No Kings. Jeez, who did we nominate? Oh, we didn't nominate anybody. We just assigned somebody to run for president. No Kings. Lights out for a little bit there. 66, 67. Cool tune. There's one of the coolest tunes. It's just this lost tune by Donovan called The Trip. I remember the first time somehow I heard that because it's on the greatest hits that if you get that 2 CD Donovan, the blue one with the trippy cover, it's actually on that, I believe. So it wasn't a complete, just buried album track, but super cool. What goes on, chuba chuba, what goes on? I really want to know. And I was going to play that one. I looked into playing it. Maybe I will. But I remember it was like a one chord tune, you know? Just one of those weird ones, but maybe... That was a few years ago, so maybe I've progressed enough where I can figure something out. Maybe. It's a big maybe. General Lewis's woman and sweets. That is all but his country race. Gorilla girl, warm and sweet. Military man would love to meet. The Monkey Man. Just one of the great jams, man. Toots, Toots. Toots and the Maytals. Frederick Toots Hibbert. Yeah, a handful of just some of the best tunes ever, man. For me, my favorites. Sweet and Dandy. That's one of my all-time favorites. One more time for the wedding. I can't do it. I'm thinking Monkey Man still. One more time. One more time for the wedding. Drink a cold wine. Sweet and dandy is the sweet and dandy. While they were waiting, one more time. Is it perfect wonder? Why they were dancing in the ball. Drink a cold wine. Headed in this wonder. Is it perfect wonder? Why they were dancing in the ball. Pressure Drop. I mean, he had one of the all-time covers of Country Roads. Saw him twice. I saw him open for the Jay Giles when they did their reunion tour with Peter Wolf. But then more memorably, I saw him at the Canyons in Utah. I think it's become something else, or they ate up somebody else near there. It's right near to Deer Valley. Deer Valley's just up the road. I believe it's Deer Valley. That's where I saw Bob Dylan on the mountain. That was in the summer. But it was like in the winter, and Toots played a free concert, and it was snowing, and he's out there, black leather pants, sunglasses, black, all leather. It was cool. Played like a full 90 minutes, 2 hour show, whatever it was. It was great. Snowed like the whole time. Nothing like reggae in the snow. Yes, that gives me an idea. Reggae in the snow. What you think of all you hear, man, in Florida. It's kind of nice. It's kind of just part of the fabric of Florida life is those friggin' just the in the background. Those are the funnest little things to do, though. You know, just that little breakdown, and it's only rock and roll. Like it. Oh yeah, I like it. Said I like it. The RV life, man. I got one of the best spots in the place. And just by happenstance, and I guess also by what I prioritize. What's up, buddy? But you know, you got your walls are paper thin. And you can just sometimes you can just barely hear something. And not even that it's interesting or anything to do with you, but you just can't help it be like, you know, and it's quiet in my RV right now, completely quiet. Till the fucking AC comes on and I can't fucking hear myself fucking breathe. It sucks. I hate my AC. I love my AC. I love you, but I hate it. It's noisy as hell, and it's in like it's right in the middle of everything, which I guess is the idea. it's it's right like you come up the door and the sink's right there. It's kind of right where you stand to do a lot of things, so it'll blow right on you and it'll be cold. But then I can be sitting right over here on a hot day, on like 90-degree day, and you're like, I need more AC, and then you go stand there and you're like, fucking. So I just wish they had put it because I got one in the back. It doesn't work right now, but I just think they should have moved it. I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of does get annoying. That's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. What do you say, Billy? You okay, sweetie? The cats are all quiet. Yeah, it is pretty. It was this thing I was watching. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy, Gerald Salente. If you ever watch Redacted, that's where I first saw him. But I saw a thumbnail for a thing. It was for I'm gonna take the glasses off so I can't really see anymore for the screen, but we'll keep it on. But he does this magazine called Trends, and he's been very successful. And all it is just scanning all the news. It's all Alex Jones does. It, they scan the news and all the new, you know, like psychotically. And but anyway, he's really good. You know, from Brooklyn, old school, plain spoken. You know, like really, and but he's just talking about. He brought up this thing that I've been noticing, and I think a lot of people noticed it, but don't think about. But just the fact that since COVID, how the world just shut down. Like 9 o'clock, shit's dead. You know, you can find a place that stays open till 11. That's amazing, you know? And it and like the Walmart's not being open 24 hours. I used to be, but it also used to be safe because you go there and there'd be like, there also could be wild at a Walmart, but mostly it was mostly harmless. And if there was any excitement, it was usually predominantly, I'd say, and anecdotally, but couples getting into it with each other or a family or people together already more or less getting at it. Not always, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I think it was just better. I like when there's activity. It's like I've done a lot of long drives and I enjoy them and I enjoy driving at night. Unless it's like a nice, beautiful place out west, I've never been there, and I want to I want to see the surroundings. But sometimes you don't have that option. But anyway, I do enjoy the driving at night because it's just you can put on the cruise control. If you got some weed, hopefully, and you put on good tunes, it's just fucking wonderful. But you pull into those, your pilots and your Love's truck stops to get gas. And if you've been going smoking heavy and you've been going just 5 hours, like I'll go in, I'll fill up the tank, and I will not stop until I'm at E. And sometimes on a good ride, there's been a couple magical spots where it's been cruise control, no brakes from getting gas to off. Like once or twice, I've had that happen on highways out west or Midwest and shit. And but you pull into that gas station at like 2:30 a.m. and you're a little weird, like just because hopefully you're good. Even when you're not high, it's still just fucking weird if you've been driving hundreds of miles and there's just that weird aura about that shit. And there's activity. It's not like weird, That's what I like. The one nice thing about Florida, like that first rest area when you pull in on 95 in Jacksonville, it's just psychological. They got the palm trees, and it can get a little cool up there in Jacksonville. It's certain times of year you're not like break out the shorts, but Florida's just the best place to return to. But as opposed to like a rest area in the Jersey Turnpike, which is never appealing. It's just fucking crazy. And it's cold half the year. It's dirty and fucking it's just concrete jungle and ugh. But that Gerald Salente, the trends, but like he's talking like he lives somewhere in the Hudson Valley, north of New York City of the Hudson River. Nice, quaint, that's where Pleasantville is and stuff. I don't know if Pleasantville's right in the valley, but that's where the Giants used to have their training camp. But anyway, it's nice. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies up there, a lot of that's where you get surprisingly, your top mountains are only 3,000 feet or something, but you get a lot of dramatic valleys and gorges and shit up there and nice green trees in the summer. But anyway, he's just talking about how, the restaurants that used to be open till 10 or 11 are now 8 and 9 and but it's like the vitality of things, you can argue, well, that's because everybody's going home safer. No, when there's a lot of activity going on, it is, and it doesn't have to be just drunken recklessness. It's just something missing everywhere, and it just seems to me, and you're just like, how can there be somebody planning all this? But like COVID was an attempt to decrease the population, then right into this war. I just can't understand. I'm a full MAGA Trump supporter. Say what you want, but I'm not an idiot, and whatever. I'm not even saying that to defend myself. I'm just saying I don't belong to nobody. This was just nuts. and it's so out of character. He's been so dead on everything he's done, just about. He really has. And this was just so out of whack with that. And this may be the downfall. I mean, I'm all for it. I want to see what I'm willing to. If I get to fucking ride around on a horse and shoot people for a little bit, only in no reckless craziness. I'm just talking sort of apocalyptic, who knows, defense, whatever. I don't know. But it's also going to be the sort of thing. Say you got your whatever, and it gets down to where it's horses, man, because there ain't no gas or electricity, and you're just riding along somewhere you don't know. You'll just get shot. You'll just be dead. You won't know it's coming. It'll be 100, 200 yards away. Like the kids are left home alone while the parents had to go somewhere, and they're like, "Anybody coming?" You don't even know you're approaching somewhere you shouldn't go. You know what I mean? Or the parent himself. Just anything. It probably won't even be a case where you're in some standoff. You'll just be riding on your horse, and they'll see you coming, and they'll be like, "No questions asked." And that's what I'd hope my kid would do. Oh my God. Oh, the back was kind of better for a day or two. Oh, of the general opinion, it's just fucking couch. I mean, it's an RV couch. And a combination weight RV couch. But it's going to be interesting to see out, and it's just amazing if you're at all into the YouTube culture or the shows, but like the supposed like above level kind of, we're talking Judge Napolitano. He used to be on Fox. He has a show and he talks to a lot of ex CIA spooks and shit. And Scott Ritter used to be the inspector for the international nuclear whatever in Iraq and shit, and now he's a guest on tons of shows. He's got his own thing, and he's kind of a petulant little brat, but he's also well connected and knows his shit without a doubt. But it's kind of bad now because he just seems really bitter about like Pete Hegseth having his job and stuff. But you listen to all those guys, and then and Tucker Carlson and all them, and they're all United States is losing the war and it'll never end. And then obviously Trump is going to generalize or just keep saying, you can't, you don't, But there's this other side, and like Tusi TV is a good example. He seems to be pretty connected, and he's Iranian. His dad still lives there, and he's totally kind of supporting what Trump's saying. Like the IRGC's back, like collapsing, and the Iranian people are all for this, and it's just all go. And like his dad still lives there, legit. He's based out of London, Mayor Tousi, Tousi. I would recommend checking his channel out. Doesn't have to be the only one. Go to that, and that's it. That's not the implication. Check it out and give it more than one check out. You can't just judge something. It's like when you suggest a song. I was thinking to this myself about this earlier today or yesterday, where when you're like you got to go listen to this song. Like I'm all into I listen to a lot of music and a lot of new stuff, but old stuff, everything from. And I'm talking. Listen to stuff from recorded in the '20s by Louis Armstrong and other collection stuff I'll come across, and But I love the Stones and the Dead. That's kind of the meat in my sandwich for the most part. But when you tell somebody to go listen to Sway by the Rolling Stones, if you're not a Stones aficionado, you may not know that one, but it's a lot of Stones fans and myself included favorite think it's one of the greatest Rolling Stones songs. It's like the second song on Sticky Fingers. And but you can't go and be like, put it on and be like, okay, oh wait, I don't know, man, this isn't as good as Give Me Shelter, dude. I mean, you can't listen to it like that. You know, you can't. A, it's your first time. B, you're like, he said it was the great. This no way. I mean, come on. And you know, you can't listen to music like that. You can't, and you can't really make judgments like that. You know what I mean? But it's amazing, you know. With we think like at one second you're like, there's too much information. What's true and now? Like what's going on in Israel is completely you. I'm sure, hopefully, you can find something out there, but it's not readily available. Supposedly, they're getting pounded pretty heavily, and you can't find any of it. Like they can just really shut it down. Supposedly, there's like a $5,000 fine you get caught sending out any video of anything in Israel. But that's when you need somebody who's with well heeled, either connected to like a major network because they'll get away with it in that respect, or just has deep pockets or somebody backing them. It's just amazing, dude. The whole thing, the whole world really, and people are just going along. I mean, where I'm at, you know, I'm involved in some project installing shit in the fucking, and it's just going along. Nobody's talking about it may be fucking struggling to find clean water next week or any something. That's what people don't get, man. Think about that. Shit all just starts breaking down or electrical grids and shit. Where are you gonna get your water that you can trust and safe to drink? Shit's gonna happen quick, folks. You Door Dashers will be gone quick. It'll be nice. It will be nice. So I'll be playing tomorrow. I'll be hopefully, barring any weird disruptions, should be supposed to be a nice day up at Charlotte's Web Pub up in Wauchula, Florida. Hopefully around 2 p.m. Keep aiming for 2, and no matter what, by the time I get there at the earliest, it's 2:30, and I'm out at 3, which is a little better because you get the longer day. But I mean, it's Sunday and it's a half-hour ride. I don't want to get home at like 8:30, you know. But the thing is, I go and I every Sunday I'm like start lunch, you know, 11:30, eat at noon, be on the road by 1, and no matter what, and I'll end up being like, oh, I'm too early. Like I'll literally sit and kill time, and I just can't. I think tomorrow's the day. I'm not gonna let that happen. See, I plan out like the first, you know, usually made the first 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 songs. Generally 2 to 3. Just something will pop into my head early in the week or during the week, like, oh yeah, that's a good opener. You know, and I like to kind of get it down. You know, like I everything's kind of based or kind of comes out of the Grateful Dead um, philosophy. You know, but I was thinking about this earlier today. Do I work? Do I kind of narrow it down? Do I have my opening songs, and I kind of do some that are just obvious openers, or do I do it where I have a different opening song every week eternally, or do I just not worry about that? Like just listen to whatever, which is most likely the thing. You just go with the feel at the time. But like the Dead, I'm gonna open up with Jack Straw's an opener, but I'll also use that to close a set. Sugar E's the eternal second song. That's where it belongs. They put it there almost immediately. It's just a number two song. It bounced. It moved. It was in different spots for the most part. By the end, the last 15 years, it was pretty much second song. Sugary. Sometimes I'll open up with a Bertha, but maybe a loving cup here and there. The Tiki Room, that's become a new opener. I mean, you just can't. You kind of got to. It's kind of lyrically an opener. But sometimes something might be going on, like tomorrow, my plan is a thematic sort of thing. And then, I don't mind throwing it opening with a Let It Grow or throwing stones here and there. Yeah, you know, there's a few returners, but it's always something. So, Mighty Quinn, I think I've used that a few times. I mean, obviously, Come On Within, it's good. I was thinking Young Americans, but something else came up. I was going to open with that. But, all right. Well, I'm going to take a pee. Not that you need to know that. I'll come back. Ah, mama. Sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, it's not as bad as I think it's gonna be getting up, just like the back or something. Like I kind of feel like it's gonna be bad. It's not. Oh, Woo, that was one of those peas. It is one of those peas. It's still one of those peas. That's just really relieving. I've only had one beer. I think it was the Coke. I haven't even finished that beer, actually. One of the bummers. Come in, sweetie. One of the bummers of the streaming thing is that you can't if I'm sitting here right now where I'm not actually playing any music, I'd want to be listening to music, but you can't. They'll turn your stream off. And you might get to go for like 20 minutes. I think it depends on the artist or something, but and then they'll block the vid. Not that anybody watches this shit if after the stream. I guess if you become more important enough, they would. But yeah, that was the last sip of that. I started that a long time ago. So we'll go one more beer. I'm getting ready to throw in the Stones at El Mocambo, 1977 in Toronto. The famous gigs that they played for charity after Keith got busted for heroin. Some of the favorite, small club gig, that ramshackle. I love that Stones period when Woody first joined the band. So you got the live album "Love You Live" was Woody. Ron Wood, but up through Still Life, which is the 81 tour. And they put out some live gigs, like 82 summer tour of Europe, of showing England, which was a continuation of that the Tattoo You Still Life tour. But those were the last years when it was basically just the band. You know, they'd have a keyboardist, you know, Ian McLaughlin, Ian Stewart, Billy Preston in 75, you know, and they would have a horn section, but they didn't have like the backup singers. So Keith was doing all the backup. And, you know, and then when they came back in 89, the band, you know, they had the three, you know, Blondie Chaplin, Lisa Fisher, and Bernard Fowler, the three backup singers. And I guess the rest of the band was kind of the same size. Chuck Leavell. I think they had two keyboardists, which they did sometimes, and even in '81, because Ian Stewart would have a piano and he'd come in and play like a boogie type numbers, the early numbers, which was less and less. And they'd have like Ian McLaughlin was on that tour. What's up, sweetie? Come on up. There he is. The Donald. What's up, buddy? Doing okay? What's up, brother? You okay? He likes to sit. I have to like hold him in my arms in front of me. And he doesn't lay like a bit. He'll lay like his stomach against my stomach, you know, kind of like he is now, but like across the front of me. But I have to like use both arms, and it basically incapacitates. I like it, but it incapacitates me. And I'm trying to just get him to like, you know, like this, where I can just kind of hold him with one arm and then do something with the other arm. He's cute though. He's the only one who does that. None of the others really let me hold him. They still got the street in them. Him and his brother, they're the last litter that I was involved with. They're all the same mother. I got 5 cats, but these two are the chillest. And but his brother's not quite as holdy. Going up to my nephew's wedding in Huntsville, Alabama next weekend. So these guys are all going to be in the RV alone for a couple days, Saturday and Sunday night. That should be pretty manageable. Left them alone for like 4 nights when I went to San Diego for the company Christmas party. They come back. I left a bunch of fucking food and water. It was all gone. But I'll tell you, man, that gas keeps going up. That's when it hits home. You know, I was gonna do some shit today. I was kind of on the fence, and that was definitely a factor in being like, you know what? Let's just sit tight. I ended up blowing money on Amazon instead. I couldn't resist the Bongo Fury 50th. It's Frank Zappa, the album he made with Captain Beefheart. I'll get some Zappa here and there. Basically, this is like a deluxe, and it comes with that album was a mixture of live and studio stuff, and these are just like the 2 full concerts from the Armadillo World Headquarters in Austin, Texas, which I'll always I went my first time in Austin. It was for work. I was just passing through, but I made it, so I passed through there. And I got a hotel, and I'd driven so long and far, and Calexico was playing at I think the building that used to be the Armadillo World headquarters. And Calexico is a pretty cool band if you don't know about them. They're kind of one of those. They're from like Tucson, Arizona, I think, and they're cool. They do like a cool rootsy sound. It's a two-man band, but usually they have like a horn mariachi horn section. And they're just cool. But anyway, I would have loved to have seen him. And I planned to, but I got my hotel and I'd driven so far I laid down on the bed and that was it. Woke up at like 11 o'clock or something, you know. Had missed it. It sucked. That's that story. Forget what else happened on that trip though. I think I did get to see something I wanted though. Maybe not. God, there was that one where I crashed on my bike, man, smashed my head almost. Took a nasty fall. Something happened. Something was in the road that I didn't see. Took a fucking fall on my bike. That was the night I went to Momo's in Austin. They had a tribute to Blind Willie Johnson. And Gurf Morlix played. Just played a tune. That was the first time I saw Gurf. Seen him a couple times since, or at least once. But I've corresponded with him. I've sent you send away. You basically deal directly with him if you buy stuff from him. He's got a cool. He does some weird videos on his website. Pretty funny. Gurf Morlix. Just listen. I gotta go outside, man. It's a beautiful night. Do the cat litter. Walk it to the dumpster. An enjoyable walk. What's you doing, bud? Let me put this down, sweetie. How we doing, darling? You okay? Cats are fun. Kind of crazy though, because ultimately they just do not care. You know, they'll stick their claws in you if they for whatever. Pretty funny. All right, well I'm gonna put some tunes on, I guess, and unfortunately, I'd love to have you stay and enjoy the tunes with me. I know there's some guys that do. Maybe they just accept that. Like there's this one cool channel. This guy he plays guitar and he just has tunes jamming in the background. And you know, it's Howlin' Wolf and whatever, whoever newer stuff. And I wonder if he just accepts that it gets copyrighted or something. Yeah, but they'll usually stop it. Why would he get to keep going? Is there some sort of designation you can make that allows you to play music in the background? Because that's all I would want. I'm not looking to, I would think it would be a benefit to anybody, but Um, it'd be fun to just talk with music playing in the background instead I have to choose to play music and turn off my stream, which is hugely popular, by the way. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, this is Billy. Here's Virginia, beautiful cat who died. There's Donald. He's like, what's going on out there? Had some gumbo tonight from Public. It was some good, looked like quality, and it was. It was good. It was good. I don't know. I spent last Saturday night standing out by the fire. The kids behind me, they're like 30 years old. I can't really be bothered hanging out with that. It's funny because a lot of these younger kids are woke and they don't realize it. Some of them, like a lot of these guys who are like, I don't get into it with my wife, but they don't understand what's happening is A, that they're accepting it and that it's creeping. It allows the other side to take ground. But also they're leaving their kids and shit to be raised by their wives in the schools, which is making them all leftists. So you got a family of 5. It's basically 4 libtards and the father. So it can be a well-intentioned and thinks he's a man, but he's kind of not holding up his complete end of the bargain by you gotta. I'm not advocating for confrontation or any sort, but you gotta figure out a way to stand your ground and also make sure that your kids are being raised with the values that are sane, which is not letting them become a Democrat. You don't really want to marry a Democrat to begin with, the woman. I mean, they're evil, man. They're deceptive, My brother's married to one that is just like she's nice. She's a nice person and shit, but she's obviously retarded and you don't see it. But she's pushing that into the kids and she's voting that way. And the problem is she's more apt to do those things than people on the like just a conservative guy. If he forgets to vote on a day or something or can't, he just whatever. These people are more motivated in their craziness. But sometimes what they advocate and shit is so crazy. You're like, you need to get out of that. I don't know. I'm working that out myself. These people are so. What is it? It's 11 o'clock. So they come in. We got a couple of these guys here that are. The kid behind me is kind of idolizes these other guys, and it's just kind of funny. I don't know what's going on out there. I'm going to put some stones on and go back into the funner world. Of good music. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be stream. I don't know if I'm going to just tape my sets tomorrow or stream. We'll start streaming anyways. Hopefully I'll keep an eye, and if I lose it, start it back up, I guess, or whatever. All right. Thank you. The freaking Howley. The channel's the poo.